Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 17-week pregnancy update. The last pregnancy update that I filmed was my first trimester update and I was 14 weeks along, so it's been about 3 weeks since I have updated you on this pregnancy. I think I'm going to film these videos every 2 to 3 weeks depending on my symptoms, just so that I have some new things to update you guys on every time. If you're new here, this is my third pregnancy. I have 2 little girls and this is our third baby and it's a little boy. From what we know, we haven't gone to the anatomy scan, but we did an early gender test. We do have a roundabout date for our anatomy scan, which I will talk about a little later in this video, but we are going to get started on this 17-week pregnancy update. If you guys want to follow along on my pregnancy and my journey to home birth and things like that, don't forget to subscribe before we get started, and I will also be showing you guys my bump at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that, and we are going to get started. So as of today, I am exactly 17 weeks, and I am going to show you guys the app that I use. I use the Pregnancy Plus app, and I love this app because it shows you the actual size of the baby. So this is what baby looks like at 17 weeks. And then if you click this little ruler down here, it will give you an exact size. So about the size of my phone is the size of baby, and then it will also give you size by fruits and stuff. So according to the app, baby is the size of a pomegranate at 17 weeks. And then you can also get a daily update or a weekly update depending on your baby, and it just gives you some information about your baby during that week, which I love this app, and everyone always asks me what app I'm using. So 23 weeks to go, it says. I can also keep track of my weight in this app, and so far I have gained 7 pounds according to my weight before, like my last period is which I go off of. So I've gained 7 pounds so far at 17 weeks. I have noticed a lot of different changes in my body this pregnancy. Even as early on as around 12 weeks, I started to notice my body really changing and fluctuating. So like I said, I have had 2 previous pregnancies. They were both girls, and I pretty much gained an even amount of weight. I gained 40 pounds with my first, 30 to 35 pounds with my second. My body was very similar. I usually gain weight in my hips and thighs. It's kind of normal, but this pregnancy I am really gaining weight in my hips and thighs, or at least it looks and feels that way to me. I'm definitely just noticing my body make room for this baby and just change in the way that it needs to and put weight on areas that it needs to. So I'm definitely noticing that my body is looking different as early as 12 weeks and now 17 weeks. I'm really noticing a difference. I am wearing maternity pants, and I have been since I was 12 weeks pregnant. I've also noticed some weight gain in my face, which is always normal for me in my pregnancies. I swell up in my face a little bit, my lips get plumper, my cheeks get plumper. So I have started to notice that. I also get a little bit of like an extra chin, which is just kind of like my natural face shape. So although I haven't gained too much weight, I feel like I've gained like a normal average amount so far, at least for my body and me in my pregnancies. I am noticing a lot of change in my body shape. I wrote down some things that I just did want to mention. So far I have had no food aversion, so jumping into appetite, I'll also mention my cravings. I've been craving steak, which is so abnormal for me. I am not a huge meat eater at all, like whether I'm pregnant or not pregnant, but in my previous 2 pregnancies I had food aversions to meat completely. I didn't like chicken, meat, anything like that for the entire 9 months of pregnancy. Like it was just not my thing. And then after I gave birth, I was able to eat normal again. This time is the complete opposite. I literally was craving steak for like 3 days straight, and I ate steak for like 3 days straight with A1 sauce. Like that was my craving. That's all that I wanted. We ate that for dinner like 2-3 nights in a row, and it cured my craving. But that's just something that I wanted to mention because it's kind of out of the box for me to crave any sort of meat, especially steak. I'm not a big steak lover. I'm usually like a vegetable kind of person. So I did want to mention that, but I haven't had any food aversions. I've been pretty much able to eat everything during this pregnancy, which again is kind of abnormal for me in pregnancies. Usually I only like certain things. I usually can't eat meat. I usually have like food aversions weekly, it felt like, in my last pregnancies. This time I can eat anything. Nothing really grosses me out as the nausea kind of wore off, especially like I can pretty much grab anything and eat anything that my family's eating. So that has been really nice because I haven't had to adjust my eating in any way. I can eat healthy foods, I can eat junk foods, and all of that. Of course, I love my like cravings and I indulge in those, but I've been pretty much able to eat anything. I also have felt fetal movement, which is very exciting. In my previous pregnancies, I felt fetal movement around 16 weeks with my first, I think 15 or 16 weeks with my second. And then with this baby, I felt a little bit of movement around 15 weeks. I started to notice like little butterflies, but it wasn't consistent and I maybe only felt it once or twice between 15 and 16 weeks. But last night actually I was laying in bed and my stomach got like really tight in one area where I could feel the baby was, and I started to feel movement and little kicks and jumps, which just was so exciting and reassuring to feel, because I feel like once you start feeling that fetal movement, it just kind of lets you know that baby's doing good in there, and it was just a really good feeling. Nothing that you could see while filming or anything yet. Hopefully within the next week or two you'll be able to see it on the outside, but I definitely could feel him moving on the inside, and it was so excited. And I told my other kids about it, mainly my 4-year-old, and she's so excited to be able to feel her brother kick. I actually had a midwife appointment over the weekend. It was my 16-week appointment, and I actually filmed the heartbeat, which you guys can see in my last video where I give a glimpse into my midwife appointments. But during the heartbeat, the midwife even mentioned that you could hear him like kick into the Doppler and the kids could hear it, so you can actually see that on camera as well. So he's kicking and squirming and moving around in there. He's very active and healthy, and it's really exciting to be able to feel fetal movement finally. So hopefully, usually around nighttime is when he is the most active, or most of my babies were the most active at nighttime. So hopefully within the next week or two it will be a lot more consistent. As for my midwife appointments and how that is going, you guys know I am on a journey to home birth, so I'm taking the more natural route this pregnancy. I have had 2 previous hospital and induced inductions, so this time I'm going a complete different route. I am having at-home midwife appointments and things like that, but I do still get ultrasounds, and I actually am almost scheduled for my anatomy scan. My midwife sets that up with your local hospital, and she has called them and talked to them, and she said I will hear back from them within 1 to 2 weeks, and if not, I have to contact her and just make sure everything is good. But how it's going to work is I'm going to have a telehealth appointment with them to just set up like an official anatomy scan date, which will be around 19 to 20 weeks, so at the end of November. And then I'll go to my local hospital, they'll do my anatomy scan there, and it will kind of just be like my 20-week pregnancy update as well, because I won't see my midwife that week, and I see her every 4 weeks as of right now. So my anatomy scan will kind of replace that midwife appointment, and they'll give all of the information to my midwife and check up on baby and let her know the results. And then in 3 weeks after that, I'll see my midwife again, so around mid-December, and I think I'll be 22 to 23 weeks the next time I see her. Like I said, I did film a little bit of my last midwife appointment, and I kind of explained how those appointments run in my home in my last video. So if you guys want a little bit more of a glimpse into my at-home midwife appointments, I will link that video up here. But so far they're going great. I'm loving them. They're really quick, simple, and we do everything that we would do at an OB's office, just in the comfort of my own home with my husband and my kids, and very quickly with no middleman. So I have been loving that. Also, as I've said, baby's heartbeat was really strong, but it was in the 150s, and it's been sticking around the 140s, 150s. So a little bit lower than my last pregnancies. My girls were in the 160s, 170s. So for a little boy, I've heard that like lower heartbeats are usually consistent with boys, and that's kind of where he's been sticking around. So he definitely has a strong heartbeat. I've also been able to get the heartbeat on my at-home Doppler finally really easily. I was able to do that around 10 to 12 weeks I could find it, but it was a little bit harder to find, and now I can basically find him at any moment that I feel I want to check, and I have gotten that heartbeat on video as well. So I'll actually include a little clip here of us listening to his heartbeat the other night. There we go. That's his word. And I just used an at-home Doppler from Amazon. I can link this one below for you guys in case you're pregnant and you want to be able to hear your little one's heartbeat at home. It's really easy to use, it's battery operated, and it works pretty good for us. Also, if you've been following me since my second pregnancy, I started taking Prozac during my second pregnancy for pregnancy depression, and then I also took it after for postpartum depression, and then I continued to just take it, and I have been taking it this pregnancy. But since I switched to a midwife, I have had some troubles with my pharmacy switching from my OB prescription to her, my midwife, prescribing it. But we finally got that figured out yesterday, and I haven't taken my medication in about 4 days because I have been out, and she's been trying to resolve this for over a week now. But it got resolved yesterday, and my prescription is ready to go, so I am going to pick that up today, and I am on 40 milligrams of Prozac. I will be continuing to take that during my pregnancy and most likely after, and then from there we will see what I want to do or if I feel comfortable weaning off. But for pregnancy purposes, I am going to continue that. Then other than that, I will say now that the first trimester is completely over and I'm a little ways into my second trimester, this pregnancy has been pretty good for me. Although I do have like my hard days, my tired days, my achy days, because I do get some like back aches and feet aches if I'm on my feet too long, but that's just like 2 toddlers and being pregnant. But as we move further along into the second trimester, I am feeling really good. But I think that's all that I have to update you guys as of right now for 17 weeks pregnant. I am quickly going to give you guys my little bump date, and then we are going to end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you being here. If you want to stay tuned for the rest of my pregnancy updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button below so that you don't miss any more videos from me, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. As soon as I post, you'll be notified. And that is going to be all for today. Thank you guys for clicking on this video and watching all the way through this pregnancy update, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.